Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. So, I haven't watched or looked at CBR.com's trash site in a while. But there is one thing that caught my attention, and I really wouldn't put it past Disney just to do this so they can prop up their bullshit Disney trilogy. Star Wars hints that Rey could really have Skywalker blood. Let's get into it, shall we? Although Rey was said to be a Palpatine in Rise of Palpatine, a new Star Wars story suggests she might have a closer tie to the Skywalkers. One of the most controversial moments in The Rise of Palpatine came with the revelation of Rey's heritage. Contrary to earlier statements that she was a nobody, she was actually the daughter of Emperor Palpatine. Not the granddaughter, the daughter. Folks, I already explained this in one of my previous Versus streams. If the person who was Palpatine's son, who was a failed clone, gives birth to a daughter, well, that clone is still genetically identical to Palpatine. Otherwise, it's not a clone. If you splice other DNA, it's not a clone. Which they're actually saying in this article, because I did kind of read it. After Rey buried yada yada yada, she says that she's a freaking Palpatine, or she's a Skywalker, and yeah. Now, there's Rey, or Star Wars Vader 11, Rey might have well been spot on, because this comic hints she does indeed have blood in her veins. That just sounds like wishful thinking, because there's no conclusive evidence. As Vader investigates an Exegol temple and finds Palpatine's lab, the Emperor gets into his mind, pointing out that he's using the scalpel of creation. Most notably, Vader sees a right hand, which strongly implies that Palpatine might have collected Luke's lost hand, or possibly the one Vader lost to Count Dooku, for his own experiments. Or Anakin lost to Count Dooku, yeah. If either of those possibilities is true, that hand carries the midichlorian-rich blood of the Skywalkers. As he sends his guards after Vader, Palpatine mentions that he could conjure a new Sith apprentice, which hints that Palpatine has been fiddling with Skywalker DNA. Does it, though? With all that in mind, it stands to reason he could have spliced his DNA with any Skywalker DNA, or he had to create the son who would go on to be Rey's biological father. Thus, Rey might be both a Palpatine and a Skywalker on a genetic level. What also fuels this notion is Marvel already indicated Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians in Shmi Skywalker. Yeah, their own freaking author came out and said that that's not the truth that Anakin saw in the world of the dead. That is, or the dark side is not a very believable or truthful narrator. These people are fucking retards. Accordingly, the Skywalker limb could have provided the right elements for his son, which would then be passed down to Rey. Seeing how the Emperor predicted the Force dyad with Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, this could have been part of Palpatine's plan to create the ultimate Sith, a fate hinted at in the shots of Dark Rey. He told Mace Windu that Anakin would become more powerful than any Jedi in Revenge of the Sith. No. He said that to Yoda, you dumb fucking retards. So it makes sense he wouldn't stop fiddling with his apprentice's genetics to push that power even farther. This explains why Palpatine saw Rey as the vessel for his second coming and the key to victory. had his plan fully worked, he would have been a perfect capstone of years of manipulating Skywalker bloodline. If Rey had the blood of two Force-wielding families in her, this would explain why she was so powerful and conflicted, and why what? You literally did not even finish your article. You didn't even finish your article, CBR. Wow. Wow. You guys are pure stupid. So basically what they're saying is that Palpatine somehow managed to get his ass over to Bespin and found Luke's hand, which the Empire did use in the EU to clone a clone of Luke. And then he spliced DNA to create his son, and therefore he could use that thing to impregnate a woman, and therefore Rey would be genetically in the Skywalker camp and the Palpatine camp. Here's the thing, folks. I honestly wouldn't put it past them to do this. That's because, well, they know how much they would love to piss off the older fans, which is not the best idea if you really are paying attention, Disney. They are going to basically say, well, she's not a Mary Sue now. She has both Skywalker and Palpatine blood. She's still a freaking Mary Sue. She will always be a Mary Sue. And you constantly retconning your own fucking work is not going to be believable in any stretch. I don't care if you put it out on paper. It's not even a good enough story to wipe my greasy ass with. Folks, they are trying to do whatever they can, and yes, I am predicting that this is the route they will go. Note it in the log, this is the day, April 30th, that they will pull this bullshit. And that they are going to make, or have it so Rey does have a little bit of Skywalker DNA in her. I'm sorry, folks. This is absolutely ridiculous, because here's the thing. If you look at it from a scientific point of view, if Palpatine had a failed clone, which was his son, which was what they said it was in the book, well, then that clone is genetically identical. You see, when you clone somebody, you are genetically identical, or the clone is genetically identical to them. If you splice in something, it's no longer a clone. It is a genetically altered being, not a clone. But of course, Disney doesn't know this because they're retards. The writers don't know this because they're retards. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. I am saying that because they are literally retarded, held back and hindered. They're held back and hindered by their own stupidity and obsession with making Rey a Skywalker. She is a Palpatine, folks. Those are the facts. Facts don't care about your feelings. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Disney screwed up. And now they instead of trying to retcon all of their previous stuff, maybe they should just take the L and reintroduce Legends as the real canon. Because I'm sorry, Legends was a far better canon than Filoni or from Clone Wars Filoni or Rebels Filoni and all this other bullshit that they have done. I'm sorry, folks, that's just the way it is. Look, Disney, you screwed Star Wars up for many people, including myself. So now you're continuing to screw with it just so you can have a minute amount of people, maybe 10,000, and that's being generous. Maybe 10,000 people who are so obsessed with Reylo and Rey and Kylo Ren and all of them You're going to pander to 10,000 people, maybe a little bit more if I'm being generous, compared to the millions of Star Wars fans. You can't please everybody. What you should do is please the majority. And the majority wants the EU back. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. I can't believe that this bullshit. They have wrote a trash article that they couldn't even get elements of the previous or of the prequel trilogy right. Saying that frickin' he told that Mace Windu that Skywalker would become more powerful than any of us. No, that was to Yoda, you dumbasses. But anyway, that's going to be the video, folks. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of this nonsense? Do you think that they're actually going to do it? Have a whole splice vice thingy where now Rey will have Skywalker blood in her genetics? Or do you think that, well, maybe they should just take the goddamn L and move on? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.